We are here with Harald Neumann, who is the CEO of Ainsworth Game Technology. And Harald, you've been doing these interviews for a few years now.
Yes, with two companies.
Yeah.
The first one, Novomatic, and now for Ainsworth.
And they're always very enlightening. It's been a busy year. Just give us a brief overview of what Ainsworth has accomplished in the past year and where you see yourself going now.
Yeah, also what we did, also it's my third year as CEO in Ainsworth, and what was my main task is completely change the development structure. Because we had on the beginning only 2 game studios, I would say not very well managed. We have now 6 game studios. The game studios are communicating with each other. We have new tools. We are working with artificial intelligence. So we are trying to catch up to the big 2 or big 3 regarding technology, which is not so easy because we are much smaller than the top 3 of this industry.
You mentioned artificial intelligence. That's kind of interesting. How do you see that developing?
Also, I'm really forcing my studios to use it. On the beginning, I would say it's rather for more sophisticated graphics. But at the end of the day, if you have a mass model, you're very fast in developing or producing clones. And at the end, my vision is that at the end you put in 2 or 3 different kind of mass model and say, okay, good, create a new game. But this will take another 10 years. Yeah? But I think for more sophisticated graphics and faster game production, it's already very helpful.
Artificial intelligence is a buzzword in every industry today, but it's that and technology generally is driving change in the gaming industry. How do you see and you get a good view of the gaming industry globally as well. How do you see the gaming industry evolving?
Well, after 10 years working in Europe and now 3 years working in the US, I can tell you US is still the paradise of gaming. It's well accepted. The image is good, the regulation is reasonable. When you compare it to Europe and also more and more to Australia, they are over-regulated, the taxation is much too high. Recently they increased the online taxation in Netherlands, which makes the business simply unprofitable. So you have we are over-regulated market in Europe and in Australia. You have a very well-regulated market in the US, which in my opinion will grow in the next years. And then you have Latin America, which is always a good market, but it's heavily depending on the political situations there. Yeah? For example, we did not sell anything in 24 to Argentina, but now obviously the new president is improving the conditions there, so we will more or less come back next year to Argentina. The challenge in general is that also the challenge for us is that the market is in the US heavily consolidating. And either you are part of the consolidation or sooner or later you will drop out because you cannot compete anymore against companies which have 10 times of your development power.
Right. And that's the question that we raise every year about Ainsworth,
yeah.
And we'll ask again. In the world of much bigger companies, including bigger sister companies, what's the future for Ainsworth? Does it remain independent? Does it get absorbed into the Novomatic system? Does it get spun off or bought out by someone?
So, I can tell you I strongly believe that Ainsworth needs a different shareholder structure and a different kind of ownership structure. As I mentioned already, at the end of the day, it's very difficult to compete against Aristocrat and Light & Wonder because, in my opinion, they are approximately 2 years ahead of all the others regarding game development and game features. We have started a project this year looking for an investor, which we paused because we missed, unfortunately, our half-year figures. It doesn't make sense to look at investor when the business is not performing well. But my personal objective is end of 25 to have a different ownership structure. If this is Novomatic or any other bigger company is still open, but for me it's important that we're part of a bigger company.
And you mentioned competing against companies who are much larger, have their R&D budgets are bigger than your entire budget.
Exactly.
For example. And yet you guys have managed to continue to innovate. You've mentioned the increase in number of studios that you have, and you continue to dominate in that high denomination area.
Yes, but as I think I mentioned this 2 years ago about my objectives, 80% of the market is low denomination. Right. And if you are not part of this low denomination market, then on a long-term run you will lose. We had a very successful game, Sanfar, where we were under the top 10 on the beginning. Now we are still under the top 25. We have our new cabinet, which is still under the top 3 cabinets. So, and you will see on our booth this year, we have really very promising new games. And we try our best, but once again, it will be more and more difficult to compete against the bigger companies.
We had touched upon artificial intelligence earlier and game development. Is there anything more you'd like to say from an Ainsworth perspective of what you're doing in those innovations?
No, what I mentioned, we show our first 2 artificial intelligence games here on the show. We had yesterday a meeting with all the game studios. We will introduce artificial intelligence. We'll use artificial intelligence more and more in our studios. We have our first Unity games on the show. So Unity will be our new game develop platform. So this is because when you look at the games now, in my opinion, the market has completely changed in the last 2 years. It's not this old-fashioned game style. It's a lot of feature, a lot of entertaining, a lot of moving pictures, videos, and so on. And for that kind of graphics, you need high-performing platforms, high-performing software, and this is what we are investing in.
And that's what we'll see upstairs?
Yes, we have artificial intelligence games, we have Unity games, we have a new 3-pot games, which was developed by our Reno studio with pickup features. We have Rocket Frenzy, which is neither a pot game nor a hold and spin game. You simply have different kind of prizes, and you have each 10 wheels spins, you have rockets which are shooting different prizes. And we are showing new concepts, Neon, and then a 5-pot game which will come out in first quarter. So we have approximately, I would say, between 6 and 10 new games for 25. So I'm quite optimistic for the next year.
Great. Good overview. Anything else you'd like folks to know?
No, I'm happy to be here every year. It's good to see you, and so let's see what the show will bring.
We look forward to it. Thank you, Harald.
Thanks. What a pleasure. Thank you.